Good morning. Gotta get the coffee ready. And yes, that is ice in there. Put ice in first thing. So I can drink quite a bit first. And yes, that is a slab of butter, slice of butter. That is my morning breakfast. I have buttered coffee. It is, a lot of places, they call it, what do they call it? Keto coffee. I don't add MCT oil or coconut oil. I just add a slice of butter. I take that first sip with the ice, put a little sweetener in it. You'd see I had Splenda out here. I put a couple of squirts of Splenda, my butter. Now I will shake this up, and in a few minutes my coffee will be ready to go. And there is my coffee after it's been shaken up. A lot of people who make their keto coffee will actually blend it or use a hand blender. I do not. I find shaking it works just as well. Put the lid on, shake it up, becomes frothy, and then it's like having a latte in the morning. Well, folks, I'm on my way to take the baby beanies up to the hospital. Once I'm there, I'll start recording. Wanted to show you the lobby. They have a beautiful piano in there. And sometimes there's someone playing. Let's hope for somebody playing piano today. I'll see you in a few. This is one of the courtyards in between the surgical units. A real nice water fountain. Nice area to sit. And of course that's UPMC right there. Well, I don't have anybody playing, but they have the automatic player on. And this is the lobby where they've done the renovations. Hi, it's Jnwynn with Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Today is Monday, October the 15th. And it's Z's birthday. Happy birthday, Z. And Wanda's birthday. Happy birthday, Wanda. I wanted to show you, this is the little clipboard that I take to get groceries with. And you know I got the little clip. I added a little dollar keychain for glasses. Clipped that on there and it's working fine for the whole thing for keeping track of my pen. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I hope you enjoyed the little visit. I took you to UPMC. I didn't take you upstairs in the nursery because that's just not allowed. But I wanted you to see the grand piano and hear some of the music if someone's playing. Of course, today they had the player piano on the attachment working on it. And when I was going upstairs, there was a young lady that was riding up with me. She was going up for a non-stress test, and she was a little nervous about it, and we were talking about it, and I told her a non-stress test is nothing. They hook you up to some electrodes, and you walk on a treadmill. It's no big deal. It's small pace. You know, They may even do it a little differently nowadays. That's the way they did it when I had a non-stress test. I said the stress test is a little different. She asked me about it. I said, you don't want to know about it. I said, generally they can use chemicals, or they do something they call nipple stimulation to do the stress test. And she's like, oh my. I said, yeah, that's what I thought when they told me I was coming in for a stress test. But I was in premature labor, so I never got the stress test. I was already, in premature labor, so they stopped the labor with my last baby. Told her that was a whole experience on its own. As you can tell, I've been to the Dollar Tree. Had to get some more envelopes. But I went looking because Llama Mama. I'm telling you, Kayla, you're killing me. You were showing, I think it was you that was showing maybe it was Dana. I'm so confused. I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. One of you showed a Sugar Skull bag, tote bag, and actually I think it was Dana. I think it was Kayla of Llama Mama. But I went looking for that in my stores. No. Of course not. We'll get them next year. So, I took the hats up to the nursery. And of course, they had just had a baby as I was coming in to the hospital. And they always play Brahms' Lullaby when a baby is born. And that's basically to let everyone know that a baby has been born. But if family members are somewhere else in the hospital, like grandmothers, aunts, uncles, it lets them know that a baby has been born. If they're the only one waiting, they know to go up so that they can, see the new arrival. Well, all of the nurses had just come out of the room. They were leaving, the parents with the baby, and grandparents were in the room with the mama and the baby. They just stepped out, and so I pulled the bag of hats out, and one of the first things, they always do this, they open it up. Ooh, ah! Well, there were about 6 of the gals around that when I went up this time. Usually it's 2 or 3. And they were like, oh my! And one of the girls is pregnant currently, one of the nurses. And the desk secretary pulled out the turkey hat, and she goes, oh my God, I want that turkey. So we gave her the turkey hat early. She said, does this mean if I have my baby after Thanksgiving, which I'm due in December, I'll get a December hat too? And I said, yes, it's your lucky day. And then I proceeded to show her some of the December hats we're working on. This Maureen Brookins, one of our gals in our baby beanie brigade, started making these. Now, is that not adorable? Little gingerbread. And, she was a little worried about the buttons, but UPMC, as long as they're sewn on, not glued on, they're fine with that. And I told her if she's worried about the buttons, then just make a small circle of black yarn for eyes, sew it on. So these are what we're going to start working on. We're still working on the turkey hats because next month is November and we will have some more Thanksgiving babies. As I was going downstairs, one of the gals that recently had knee surgery, that's part of the prayer shawl group, was there with her aunt. And I recognized her from the back and yelled at her, hey, Miss Vicky. So we got to talk to each other. We were, just chit-chatting, those kind of things. So it was kind of nice because even though Williamsport is about 35 minutes away from Lock Haven, you never know who you're going to see there. Many times I see people, that live in our area, and yeah, it's just a neat thing. I did want to say while I was at the dollar store, I bought one of those little mini notebooks. I had seen them at Walmart, and they were marked down to $1.50 at Walmart, but they were paper on the outside. I like the vinyl covering. So I picked one up at the Dollar Tree, but I have to tell you, there's something that's very annoying about both those places. Neither one carry the notebook paper, the filler notebook paper for those size notebooks. So, of course, while I was in Williamsport, I went to Staples to try and get some filler paper. They were all out. I asked if they had any more in the back. No. So I'm, fine. I get home and I'm like, well, I'm just going to order it and have it delivered. Then I noticed, no, I can have it delivered to the store in Williamsport. And I have to go up there again later this week. So I thought, well, I'll just have it delivered there. And it has a thing on there that you can get it within an hour. They don't have any. They looked in their stock. But I can get it within an hour. Yeah. So I get home. There's a phone call. It won't be in until Thursday. I'm like, fine, I don't care. But, that's one of those things that drives me nuts about places like Walmart. They don't carry those things. Now, they don't have to carry a big stock of it. But I have several small mini notebooks like that I use. I use one for my addresses and telephone numbers, family members, those kind of things that is where it's easier to change out. I also use those for passwords. Well, come on now, people. Every time you go to a website or whatever, nowadays you have to create a password. And they always want something off the wall. It's got to have numbers and digits and, an asterisk or something in it. I can't remember all those things. I have 3 that I love to use all the time, and I use them quite often. And then you get, places like the bank, they want you to change it every 6 months, and it's like, yeah, I find that frustrating because I doubt anybody's going to guess the password that I've come up with. Although my husband knows it, but then that's because I've told him it, so that if I forget it, he might remember it. And he has it in his little password notebook. So, it's crazy. I did want to explain the coffee that I made this morning you saw earlier. I had called it keto coffee. It's not keto coffee. It is called bulletproof coffee. That keeps me going till about 1:30. Fat tends to make you satiated, keeps you from getting hungry all the time if you use regular fats. So yes, I do use a small slice of butter in my coffee, and it equals up to 100 calories. My coffee with the creamer added in comes up to 150 calories. It's not a bad breakfast, and like I said, it keeps me going till 1 or 1:30 before I really need to eat. It has helped me keep blood sugars under control. Even a diabetic diet is a lot of carbs. We have determined that the best amount of carbs for me, in order to keep my blood sugars low enough, is somewhere between 20 and 30 carbs a day. It's not always that easy because even vegetables have carbs. But pretty much I'm spot on. I generally run about 25 carbs a day, and I'm fine with that. That keeps that need for a large amount of insulin down and keeps my blood sugars under control, and my A1C at about a 5.8, 6.2. And that's fine with the doctor, so that's what we want. So I just thought I would explain that. It's not keto coffee, it's bulletproof coffee. I just don't use the MCT oil or the coconut oil in it. All right, I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tunisian Tuesday. There will be a small video about that. I don't think that I will get to a regular podcast until Thursday. I did not have one last week. Let me see. The other things I wanted to tell you about, there is a sale that is going on in my shop for 15% off of items. That started this evening. In fact, I have to go activate it, and then it'll be ready to go. And that's about it. It runs through November the 2nd. Yeah, that's about it. So, I will see you folks again tomorrow. Everybody have a great day, and remember to be kind.